You know, I can't stand this, man. Tyrese Gibson, you should be ashamed of yourself, brother. And I'm a Tyrese Gibson supporter. You know, I'm a Tyrese Gibson supporter. But this is sad, man. It's really sad. This man should have never opened his mouth about anything about the Hobbs Shaw movie. First off, Hobbs Shaw was a much better movie than Fast 8. Okay, let's get that in perspective right now. Now, as far as the numbers of sales, of course, it's different plot, different script, different personnel. I like to think the other cast members played a hand in building what Fast 8 was all about. So when you only do a spin-off of a movie that was a successful movie that could start its own franchise, I think they had a very productive first week. And he left out the fact in his statement talking about he was right after they earned $180 million at the box office. As a failure in its first week. Talking about, oh, he tried, it didn't beat the Fate of the Furious, which did $1.2 billion. Well, here's the thing. It's a spin-off movie that did $180 million its first week. It probably had a budget of $100 some odd million, not to mention marketing. So they probably spent about $200 million in marketing. This movie will make more than that. When the Fate of the Furious was released, it was actually about racing cars, and it had an international appeal already that it had already built up. And China had the release first. The Fate of the Furious, which, you know, the Hobbs Shaw movie, should do very well in China, which will appear there at the end of August. So they haven't even hit the China market yet, which is guaranteed to probably bring in another 100 plus 200 million. So you're jumping your gun. $180 million, that's the lowest performance one since the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. That's not a win, folks. Listen. Hobbs Shaw had better chemistry working together than Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. But I know what Tyrese is doing. He's kissing up to Vin because Vin's going to keep him in movies and keep him doing stuff. And this is a shame that this is where his career has fallen into. My thing is this. Why are you mad at Dwayne Johnson? Why aren't you mad at Universal? Universal's the one that bankrolled it. Dwayne Johnson and say, you know what? Here's my $200 million. I'm going to promote this movie myself. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? No. Universal had this idea. Did you know that the spinoff was always talked about before they fought? Did you ever even know that? They were going to do spinoff movies at the end of the Fast franchise? That was always talked about. Vin Diesel was going to leave to do his own thing. Paul Walker was going to do his own thing. And the Fast franchise with those guys, with you and everybody else being in the films, they were going to be dedicated more to racing when those two spinning off? You didn't know this. All of these things were in development after Fast 5. When 6 came and they brought Letty back, they were going to have Dom and Letty back together and they were going to do spinoffs. This was always in discussion. But the spinoff movie ended up becoming Fast 7. They said, forget the spinoff right now. Let's just focus on Fast and the Furious 7. Let's just make that the script for Fast 7. That was going to be the spinoff that they were going to do internationally. Surely Tyrese should have known this. But you see, he's not mad at Universal. This is another case of how the people who do things that have privilege never get mentioned, but the brothers is always programmed to go against the brothers. But the people that cause all the conflict, the people that put the money up, the people that says this is what we want to do, they backed all of it. I don't see him going at Jason Statham. Do you see him mention Jason Statham's name? I don't see that. I remember it says Hobbs and Shaw. So it's two actors there. Did you know that Jason Statham is also a producer of this film, just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that they both produced the film? I don't see anybody mad at Jason Statham. Did you also notice Tyrese Gibson haven't been doing nothing else? Have you noticed, besides crying on the internet for money from Will Smith and everything, we ain't seen Tyrese do nothing else? Maybe you need a better agent. But this is sad, brother. I've met you on many occasions. And you are not like Rome. And for the people that don't understand, Rome is a character. That is not Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson will talk your ear off for 45 minutes to an hour talking about life. He's worse than Will Smith. That's why he cool with Will. They'll be sitting there for 5 hours talking about life coach stuff. So you know why they the way they are. Definitely. Well, I like to see where it ends up. You know what I'm saying? I like to see where things end up, but yeah, I think he got him. You know what I'm saying? I think he got him. I think Vin, you see how Vin ain't saying anything? He's taking the high road, but you out here clowning and capping for him? It's foolery. You're making yourself look like a fool. And when you went out there and did all that and jumped all out there and trying to take credit because the movie did $180 million as a failure, sad. It's pathetic. It's sad. And the movie came out in August, by the way. And I think they're off to a great start. It hasn't even hit the China market yet. They're off to a very good start for a productive movie. And they say this one may not hit $1 billion. It may not hit $1 billion. It is a spinoff. If they make $800 million off of this, it is a success. A success. This movie could not have cost more than $200 million to make. probably less, much less. And they're going to make a very handsome amount of money off of this film. It doesn't have to hit $1 billion. But the next one would. And the next one after that would. Depends on who all you bring in to be the dance partners. But to successfully root for a man's downfall, it's pathetic, Tyrese. It's really pathetic. But anyway, I'm out. Don't forget to support the page. Click the link in the description box. Hit the Streamlab up. Leave me a message in there. You can leave me a long message in there if you want to. Definitely hit my Cash App up. My name is Carcino, and I'm out.